Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests.
Good afternoon.
Don't you just love technology, the way it makes our life so much simpler? What's 2 plus 2? You don't need to think, you just take out a calculator. Your girlfriend is out of town, you can still see her every day, just Skype. You want to talk to the person on the other side of the town. Just talk, use your phone. If you want to play football in the comfort of your room, you play FIFA. If you want to murder a person in broad daylight in the middle of the city, you play Grand Theft Auto. For those of us that hate technology, you can't escape it. From the moment you open your eyes to the last breath you take, technology will always be there. Although I do understand why you hate it. For us using technology, we are blinded from its dangerous side effects. It's danger that it poses, the terror that comes from using technology. First technology is video games. The fast-paced nature and the violent nature of video game nowadays requires gamers to have fast responses, to make split-second decisions. There is no time to stop and think. Video games make you a highly attentive, a quick, responsive human being. So what's the terror? It gives you a very high attention to detail, gives you a fast response. Now here's the terror. Quick response is the terror. Turns out our lives requires us to stop and think on every decision we do. Now a study made by a Center for the Study of Violence in Iowa State University reveals that fast-paced actions from games coupled with a lot of playtime leads to what they call as the proactive executive control, which is science talk for uncontrollable behavior. The study led by the chief of the center, Craig Anderson, puts three groups of gamers in to play 3 kind of games. First is a fast-paced action game, second is a slow-paced game, and third, they don't play anything at all. After that, they were tested on their impulse control, which reveals that the first group that plays the fast-paced action games, show a significantly less control over their impulses. He hypothesized this is because the brain perceives the continuous gameplay as real-life practice, thus conditioning itself to be better at fast responses, but in the expense of actually thinking about it. Now this leads to the credence that video games promote violence, but Craig Anderson said, no, video games does not promote violence. It's just that the more we play, the less control we have. And the less control we have, the more we do our impulses. And impulses are usually violence. Now for those of us that don't play video games, you're not out of the woods, you're still nevertheless. There's danger from any technology. Second technology, digital photography. Now there are birthdays, graduations, vacations, childhood. Every moment there are so many of them, we just can't remember all of them at all. So that's where digital cameras, or in some of the cases, cameras in your smartphones comes into place. With every click you get immortalized any moment forever. You don't forget about them. So what's the terror? Digital photography actually ruins your memory. Now a study made by psychologist Linda Henkel reveals that the more we take pictures, the less we forget about them. She brought 2 groups on a tour to an art museum, and one group has cameras, the other without. And the next day, she asked them to list every detail that they know. The results, the ones with cameras remembered significantly less than the ones without. She coined this effect as the photo-taking impairment effect. She hypothesized this is because once we take the picture, our brain actively dismisses it from our memory because the brain knows that the camera's memory will do the remembering for it. Now for those of you that don't take cameras, you said, so what? I don't take cameras, this doesn't concern me. So hold on. This next technology is the one that we conduct every day, every one of us. Next technology, social networks. Now you can't actually argue that social networking is not popular. You can't lie to me. Almost everyone here has a Facebook account, or at least a Twitter account. A data compiled by the Northwestern University of Boston reveals that Brunei is third in Twitter usage. Facebook, third in Asia, with 61% of us having accounts. Now, with something this prevalent, should it be harmless? Plus, it's digital. You can't hurt it physically, right? But let me answer that for you. Yes, it can. Social networking can actually weaken your heart. Now, here's the reason. A group of researchers made a study on the link between the size of your social circle with the size of your amygdala. Amygdala is part of the brain that is responsible for emotional responses. And they revealed that the bigger your social circle, the bigger your amygdala, which means that you have a healthy brain. Now, how did this connect to your heart? It connects by what Barbara Fredericks, a psychologist, professor of University of North Carolina, said that our brain is connected to our heart by a vagus nerve. The nerve acts as a mediator between the brain and the heart. The brain uses the nerve as a way to control our heartbeat and our beating. Put it simply, a bigger social circle leads to a bigger amygdala, which leads to a healthy brain, which leads to a healthier heart. Now, here's the problem that she said. Our subconscious doesn't know the difference between real friends and Facebook friends, but our brain does. So you might have hundreds of Facebook friends and you're delusional thinking that you're happy, you're better off. But if you still eat alone in the school cafeteria, you might have the chance of having a small amygdala, which means that your brain is weak, which means that your heart is weak. Now, I'm not saying that technology is actually that much bad. I don't want people to take away their phones, throw away their laptops after this and get in a cave. It's just that you just need to take everything into moderation. Take everything in the way it's supposed to be. Don't take it excessively. And finally, my advice for you all, take it in moderation and don't forget about reality. Back to you.